Hello, my friends, and happy Thursday. Guess what? It is officially spring. We have passed the spring equinox, and at least according to the calendar, it is spring, even though here in Wisconsin, we are expecting a giant snowfall Friday night. But I have been looking and I have been seeing some of my little flowers pop up in the garden. So that makes me very hopeful for spring coming soon, for real spring. And speaking of spring, today we have the Ultimate Spring Project. So this is what we're doing today. And I have to tell you, so I call this After the Rain necklace. And, when I see pieces like this and these teardrop shapes, it just reminds me of spring rains. And of course, the best thing of all is that these are actual flowers that are captured in glass. These are Queen Anne's lace, and yes, some of them are dyed, some of them are natural, but it's an actual flower that is pressed and then captured between two panes of glass. I think they're so very special. And of course, these flowers are going to stay fresh around your neck. And even when it's a cold day or a snowy day, we can enjoy our sweet flowers. And of course, there's some other little bell-shaped flowers. So really, it's all about spring. It's all about flowers. And of course, there's lots of movement.
Connie says, hello, everyone.
Hello, Connie.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Fonda.
Trudy says, hi, everyone.
Hello, Trudy.
Fonda says, no more snow. Winter's over.
Oh, my gosh. Fonda, thank you. Can we picket winter? Can we just do something about it? And speaking of that, Fonda, I have to thank you for this idea. This was, you guys, this was Fonda's idea. She talked to me, maybe a month ago, maybe a couple of months ago. I can't really recall. But this project that we're doing next week, and I'll do a preview a little later, but this is brought to you by Fonda. Well, and of course, me. So, yeah, tell me in the comments, how do you like this interpretation of the project that you proposed? So, in the meantime, ladies, we are going to have two different colorways for the After the Rain necklace.
Angela says, good evening.
Hi, Angela. Good evening.
Jane says, hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hi, Jane. Happy Thursday to you, my friend.
Ellen says, hi, Irina, and everyone.
Hi, Ellen.
Sherry says, hi, Irina and Tony.
Hi, Sherry.
Carmen says, hi, all.
Hi, Carmen.
Jolene says, hello.
Hello, Jolene.
Kathy K says, very pretty.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Karen says, good evening, everyone. Starting to rain here. It was a beautiful day in the 70s and sunny here in Maryland.
Hi, Karen. Well, aren't you lucky? I am so wistful at this point for those days in the 70s.
Teresa says, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Teresa.
Sherry says, that's really pretty.
Thank you so much, Sherry.
Janice says it was 83 degrees here in Alabama.
Oh my God, 83 degrees. Janice, you are the luckiest girl ever.
Pammy J says, good Thursday evening, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
Thank you so much, Pammy J, and the same to you.
CD says, hi, everyone.
Hi, CD.
Fonda says, I love it. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to see the demo and get one.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much, Fonda. I'm so glad you like it. Okay, guys. So what do you think? Should we get started? This is actually a very, very simple project. This is all about the loops and the movement. And you know what, actually, I do have to make a little announcement before we, as I'm getting everything ready, let me just talk to you about something important. I kind of hate bringing this up in the middle of, what's supposed to be a really fun thing that we do together. But I have mentioned in the past that there are some scammy comments, and they're made by people who want you to follow the link, and they promise you a live video from me if you follow the link, and then they want your credit card number. So I want you guys to be safe, and I just need to tell you that we have had quite a few scammy links lately, and Lauren, who is our moderator, she is amazing, and she tries to, you can ban them in some cases, but in other cases you cannot. So she hides the comments, but they're getting more and more savvy, and they make these comments just before we start the video. And because we have 2 Facebook pages, sometimes it's a little difficult to catch everything. So please be sure not to follow any links on my page or on the Eclectica page. So this is the Irina Miech page. We also have the Eclectica Beads page. So if you see any links by anyone other than us, please just don't follow them, because all they want is your credit card. So I just want you to be safe. All right, ladies, that was the bad news. Everything else, of course, is going to be fun and positive.
Patricia says, good evening, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone watching.
Hi, Patricia. Good evening. All right, guys. So we are going to, oh, you know what? I just realized there's one little thing I forgot to grab. So maybe I will ask Tony to grab these little teeny beads for me. They're these little bicones that I'm going to need in a moment. But in the meantime, so let's just talk about the project. So when you get your kit, you will get 3 of these drops with the actual flowers. They're pressed, and they're captured between the 2 panels of glass. And then there will be 6 of the little glass flowers. So in my projects, I have used, or rather in this necklace, I used 5. And you can use either 5 or 6, whatever makes you happy. So I also have and I see that you can actually see my little cheat sheet, and we will use this in just a moment. So
Katie Steele says, good evening, all.
oh, hi, Katie. Thanks for joining us.
Olia says, good evening. This is the best part of my week.
Oh, thank you so much, Ola. It's so nice to hear from you.
Allie says, hi. This is great. Great looking necklace. Excited to see the construction.
Thank you so much, Allie. It's so easy, you guys. It's easier than it looks. Anyway, what I was saying is that I do have suggested lengths for you, and you have 6 little flowers, but as you can see, I only used 5. So where I'm going with this is that there's so much room for interpretation. So I am going to show you how I constructed, but you can change it. You can make it longer, shorter, more flowers, less flowers, pretty much whatever makes you happy. And this is definitely a necklace that is supposed to make you happy. So having said all of that, why don't we just get started, shall we?
Fonda says, will the cheat sheet be part of the kit? It can be.
You know what? I guess if Tony wants it to be, it can be. I wasn't really, I wasn't really planning to make it a part of the kit. I mean, this Okay, so this, you guys, this is as close as it gets to having printed directions. So I'm just saying, for anybody who is joining me for the first time ever, this video is your set of directions. I have no printed directions for any of my kits, and you're just meant to get the kit, which includes the link to this very same video, and then just follow the same directions. I think that's the easiest for everyone involved. Okay, guys, so
Amy says, hi, everyone.
hi, Amy. Thanks for joining us.
And Kim K says, happy Thursday. Love the colors.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Kathy D says, hi, all. Tony and Irina.
Hi, Kathy. Okay, guys, so as you can see, I have a little glass flower, and yes, this is your little hint for, here, I'm just going to put it right there. So this is your hint for the next colorway, which will be revealed in just a moment, I promise. Okay, so we're going to string our flower onto the ball pin. So there's that little ball right there. And now we're going to make a 90-degree angle like we always do when we're about to make a wrapped loop. So there's our 90-degree angle, and you can use a round nose pliers, or you can use a bail making pliers. I'm using a bail making pliers just because it's so easy to make exactly the same size and shape loops when you have one. And if you do have one, I'm using the smaller side of the bail making pliers, giving me a 3mm inside diameter in my loop. So now I am going to string my chain into this loop. So I know it's very easy to forget, but just keep reminding yourself that before you wrap the loop, you need to have something attached to it. So once we have the chain attached to the loop, we're just going to wrap our loop. And you can wrap it as a simple wrap, or you can wrap it as an organic wrap, which I have been doing a lot of. So this is what it looks like. When you do an organic wrap, you go from the loop to the bead, and then right back from the bead to the loop. And so you get just a sturdier wrap because it's wrapped twice. One wrap is on top of the other.
Laura says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Laura, and thanks for joining us.
Judith says, hi there, y'all.
Hi, Judith. All right, guys. So once you have your wrap, we are just always going to remember to pinch in the very end of our wire so that we do not make a weapon. So once you have your wrap, and I haven't actually pre-cut my chain at all. This is the chain that we're using both for the tassel, which is right here. This is what I'm calling the tassel, and then the body of the necklace as well. So for the tassel portion, we're using it singly, and then as we get to the body of the necklace, we are going to double it. So we'll just demo it when we get there. So I have a little cheat sheet right here, and Tony said he is just going to include the cheat sheet in the kit, which I think is a really good idea. So this is really just kind of a suggestion. This is rather a long tassel, as you can see. It's, I mean, just look at how long it is on my hand. So these are the lengths. So when we start, and I guess I started with the flower, and I have 5 flowers, as I mentioned before. You have 6 flowers that you could potentially put in the tassel. I don't know, it just made me happier with 5, so I put 5 flowers. And these are the lengths of my my chain with the flowers at the end. So why don't we just make this one oh, I don't know, how about we make it the longest one, okay? So that would be 2.5 inches. And I have a ruler right here. And if you prefer to have a shorter tassel, just cut your lengths of chain accordingly. You know, just think of the chain segments being staggered. So I would probably just try to keep a similar proportion, but make them a little bit shorter.
Allie says, great way to use the little flower beads in a way that highlights them.
Oh, thank you so much, Allie. So there we go. There is our little chain. And so obviously we're going to do this a total of 5 times. So through the magic of Facebook Live, I have already done so. And here are my chain lengths with the flowers on them. And it looks like actually I made the longest one in the opposite color, but it doesn't really matter. However you do it, it comes out great. You know what? Maybe just for fun, we'll add another one. How is that?
Betty says, hello, sorry I'm late.
Hi, Betty. Thanks for joining us. Well, you know what? Since I'm adding in the last flower, the 6th one, maybe I'll just make it a little bit shorter so everything is staggered. So as you can see, improvising is just great fun. You know, it's like whatever the spirit moves you at the time you're making your necklace. Okay, so now we have made either 5 or 6 lengths of chain with the flowers attached to them with a little wrap loop. And now we are going to continue by attaching the chain to our beautiful botanical drops. So I just want to show you how really, really pretty these are. Okay, I think you can see them so much better on here on my work surface than on my hand. So can you guys see the really pretty flowers? I mean, like I can see each one of the flowers, and each one is going to be just a little bit unique. As you can see, this one has a lot, this one has very few, but they're all just lovely.
Linda says, hello, everyone.
Hi, Linda. I am so glad you joined us. Okay, ladies, so let me move these just for a moment. And so when you attach the chain to our glass drops, we're going to do that again by making wrapped loops. And this time we're not working with ball pins, but rather we're working with just wire, just regular wire. So I'm going to start making a loop. And if anybody is new to this, you might want to watch one of my videos just on making loops, because I break it down to the tiniest of steps, and I make it very easy to follow. So in the meantime, I have made the loop and attached it to the loop on my glass drop. And now I'm going to use a tiny little bicone, and this is a Swarovski bicone. I can't remember the color name. And so this is just adding a little bit of color. It's fairly neutral, but it just adds a little something, a little sparkle. And I will start the loop on the other side of the bicone.
Kathy D says, yes, and beautiful.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Amy says, love the glass drops.
Oh, thank you. They are really special, right? I mean, they really have so much soul because every little flower is different.
Fonda says the glass drops are beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are into the glass drops because I love them.
Allie says it'll be fun to see which flowers will be in the pack I order.
Yay! Thank you, Allie. You know what? There's not one a bad one in the bunch. I mean, how can flowers not be pretty, right? Okay, so we're going to, now that I have connected the chain, I'm just going to make my loops. And again, I am making the organic loops. I like these organic loops. It just gives it a little handmade touch. And at the same time, it makes our links just a little bit more sturdy. And I do have multiple videos where I show organic loops. But you know, the gist of making an organic wrap loop is you see how I made that little wrap from the loop to the bead. So that's a standard loop, right? And I could just cut it off and tuck in the end. Or to make it organic, I simply make another coil on top of the first, and that makes it that much more sturdy, and it's just a little bit of a statement. So what does it say about our loops? Well, it makes them a little bit more boho. It makes them a little more, I don't know, I guess natural looking. Especially when I use elements from nature, I love making organic loops. All right, ladies, so we have a total of 3 botanical drops, and those are my lengths. And instead of me reading them, I'm just going to leave this here for a moment. And as you know now, you will get this little card in your kit. And that was totally improv. Okay, so now we're just going to measure to whatever it is that we want to cut our chain. And we'll just say 2.5 inches. And again, you know, it's like you just do it your way. If you want it shorter, I can't imagine making it longer. Although, you know, there's a little extra chain in the kit. You could make it longer if you wanted to. But I can see how some people might want it shorter. Okay, so now that we have cut our chain for our drops, we're just going to set them right here. And the way that I like them is so that the most neutral one is in the center. So we have, here's the longest one. We have the kind of natural, neutral looking one. So this is the one that's not dyed. And I like it to be in between the other two. Kind of the same idea. Let me show you. I have a turquoise drop, a blue drop, and that bright kind of orangey yellow drop. And it reminds me of daffodils, hence the name Daffodil Sky. So we have Daffodil Sky, and then we also have Hyacinth. And by the way, both colorways are already in the Etsy shop.
Kim K is wondering, will you have the botanical drops and tiny flowers in your Etsy shop if you wanted to make additional matching pieces?
Good question. Thank you for asking. You know, right now we don't. And I don't know how many of them we have, but you could always get in touch with us and just order them. And
email us. Yep.
Right, just email us or give us a call, and we will create a reserved listing for you. We may not have the exact same colors left, but we have some really fun colors. So, but let me consider. Maybe we'll get a few more in and then put them in the Etsy shop. But in the meantime, don't be shy. If you ever see something that you want to order, just get in touch with us and we will make you happy. Okay, ladies. So in the meantime, here are all of the drops we're going to need for our necklace. So let's get started on creating the chain. And I certainly hope you love making wrap loops like I do. And I have to say, I really do love making wrap loops. It makes me feel very calm and very zen. It's just one of those things. It's a repetitive motion, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the results too. So each one of these segments is going to be about an inch. And if you want to spread them a little further apart or closer together, however you want to do it, I do like an inch. And when you have a really fine chain like this, it's kind of practical to measure the first one, but as you start cutting more, it's never going to come out the same number of links if you keep measuring it with the ruler. So I'm just going to show you how I do it, and you probably already know, and maybe you do it the same way. So I'm just going to string my chain onto my piece of wire, and now I'm going to string the long length of chain right next to it, and it's so much easier to make them the same if you cut your next length and maybe the next one and the next one by measuring it against the other chain components.
Betty says this is so elegant and dainty at the same time. So cute.
Oh, thank you so much, Betty. I so appreciate it.
Jolene says, I wish this set was in sterling silver because I can only wear sterling or gold.
Well, Jolene, you know what? I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's so very easy to just buy the kit. You know, when you buy a kit with a base metal chain, you're really not paying a whole lot for the chain. And then you could just substitute the chain and the findings in the kit. It's so very simple. If you're willing to pay for sterling, it's obviously it's going to double the cost of the project, but if it's worth it to you, why not, right? So everything else is there for you, and you just substitute the findings. Okay, so I only pre-cut 4 links, and you can pre-cut the whole thing, or you can pre-cut a few, or rather not 4 links, but 4 segments, I should say. 4 segments of chain. And so you can just pre-cut as you go, or however it works out for you. So we're going to start making a wrap loop, and of course always we start by making a 90-degree angle for our wrap loop. And the sharper your 90-degree angle, the better. And I'm just going to start the loop. So I usually make half a loop like this until it looks like a question mark. And then I cross over the wire just like that. And again, we want to end up with our short end of the wire being at a 90-degree angle to the rest of the wire. So that's going to make it very easy for you to wrap as opposed to corkscrew down. So we're looking for a nice little tight wrap. So this is what I'm doing. Did you guys see? I just put 2 of my chain lengths into the loop. And now we're going to start wrapping the loop. So again, this is going to be an organically wrapped loop. So I'm just starting it and leaving the end of the wire just like that, sticking straight out. So I have my 2 coils, and now I am going to string one of the 4mm bicone beads onto the wire. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bend the wire to a 90-degree angle again. And we're leaving just a little bit of space between our bead and our 90-degree angle. So that little bit of space is just for our wrap, and we always need that. And now we're going to start making the second loop. And again, once you have gotten to the point where you have something that looks like a question mark, we are going to do the rest by hand. Just cross over just like that. It's very, very simple. And before I wrap, I will again string both of my chain segments into the loop. So there's the first one, and there is the second one.
Kathy H. gave a good suggestion as an alternate, stainless steel.
Oh, very good. Thank you so much, Kathy. Yes, that's a very, very good suggestion for somebody who might be allergic to metals.
Jeline says, I have sterling silver wire, but I would need to a fine chain in sterling.
We do have plenty of sterling chain, so you can always contact us. It's too bad you didn't get sterling chain when did we do the chain video?
I don't remember.
We did a chain video either last week or maybe the week before. And I did show some pretty fine sterling chain, but you know, if you contact us, we can always send you a picture. Okay, so you know what I noticed? So something that I do want to mention, I don't know if this is something that's picked up by the camera or not. Every once in a while, you get a link, especially when you're working with a fine chain. You get a link that is soldered to the previous link. Can you guys see the remnants? Yeah, Tony is saying no. But every once in a while it happens. It's not the end of the world at all, because usually those, you know, if you try to cut them off, those remnants will just kind of pop off. But I just wanted you to know it can happen with this chain or with a different chain. And you can just very easily remove them just with your cutters. Okay, so now I'm just going to wrap the remaining loop. And again, once we get to the point where our wrap seems to be done, we will just cut off the excess wire and tuck it in with our chain nose pliers. All right, so this is what we have. Let me just put this down. And this is what we're going to continue to do, and cut a couple more segments and connect them, and just keep connecting your chain segments until you have made a chain. Well, you've essentially created a chain that is styled the way you want it. And the way that this is styled is this is a double chain. It's connected by wrapped loop links, and you can make it as long as you want or as short as you want. This necklace does have a clasp, so really you could make it pretty short if you want it closer to a choker length. I made it fairly long. You know, I'm going to measure it just to give you a little bit of an idea. And I think I'll measure my finished piece because I can't remember how long it is. So I'm measuring it, not including the tassels. So the measurement that I give you guys is not going to include the tassel. It's just the necklace. So it looks like let me think. So it's 36 inches, not including the extender chain. So it's about 38, 39 inches in length. So again, you could make it shorter. You could make it a little longer. If you're tall and willowy, why not? Okay, so then we are going to continue working on our chain until, well, first of all, until we get to the length, your desired length, right? And then Oh, you know what? Tony just actually let me know that the maximum is 36 inches. I have a feeling you have a little more chain than that. We usually kind of under promise and over deliver. You probably have noticed that with some of our kits. So, but definitely you can make it at least 36 inches long. So, once you run out of beads, or maybe you don't run out of beads, maybe it's just a choice. Determine the length of your chain or the length of your necklace and cut a couple of longer segments of chain. And so that is going to be what goes around your neck and to the back of your neck. And then on one side, we're going to connect a lobster clasp, and on the other side, you probably guessed it, we're going to connect an extender chain. This is a little bit of a mixed metals, not really a true mixed metals piece. This is, there's a little bit of a slightly antique chain, and some of the findings and the wire are in bright silver. It just kind of brightens it up. I kind of like that look. It's a little more statement-like. And so once you have created your two sides of the necklace, so let me just show you what they look like at one of the ends. So they're just open chain links. They're not connected to anything. And so this is a good time to assemble the whole necklace. So we are going to start a wrapped loop. And this time, I'm not going to make it with my bail making pliers. I will make it with my round nose pliers. And the reason for that is that I want this loop to be really dainty. Oh my goodness, and I just flung one of my, one half of my necklace. So just give me a moment as I pick it up. And here it is. I guess I got a little excited.
Lori says, hello, Irina and Tony. Very late, but I'm here.
Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for joining us.
Allie says, niobium is nice too. You guys have my favorite kits. You treat us well, always with extras.
Oh, thank you so much. And yes, niobium is a non-reactive metal. However, to the best of my knowledge, you cannot get chain in niobium. I've never seen it, nor have I ever seen wire in niobium. If you ever need non-reactive ear wires, they do exist. So that's really the only product we have that is made out of niobium. Okay, guys, so you can see I made a little teeny loop. So the reason you want to keep it a little tiny is because, let me just point out where it's going. This is a loop that's going to be on the inside of this bead cap. And so we don't really want to be able to see the loop. We don't want it sticking out. If it's a very large loop, it's going to stick out, and that's just not really a good look. Okay, so once you have this little loop, we're going to start stringing all of our components. And this is just so very, very simple. And, you know, don't overthink it. Don't worry about the order of the components, because you know what? It's just not going to matter. They're going to all be bunched up, and they're just going to hang how they're going to hang. And I just need to open this little loop a little so that I can slide all my chain into this little loop.
Lorraine says, hi, Irina and Tony. So late.
Hi, Lorraine. Thanks for joining us.
Allie says, I have niobium clasps and earring components from the last bead and button show.
Oh, very good. Yes. So that's wonderful. You know what? You're absolutely right. We have had niobium clasps in the past. And we have carried niobium earrings forever and still do, of course. And again, that's a non-reactive metal, and those are very nice for those people. with allergies. All right, so
And it looks like it doesn't matter the order that you put them on.
it does not matter at all. So I'm just stringing them into the loop, and because the chain is so fine, even that little tiny loop will accommodate all of the chain segments, as you can see. So they're all kind of just bunched up, and however they line up is fine, because they're just going to do what they're going to do. It's not going to make any difference, the order, because, you know, I have experimented and I can tell you that. Okay, so now I'm just wrapping my loop, and I think I will make this one an organic loop, even though no one will ever see it. But I like making it a slightly larger wrap so that it's a little bit more sturdy. I like sturdy. And again, even though no one will see it, I do like to pinch in the end, well, so that it doesn't ever come undone. So now, before we go through our bead cap, I will also put a little daisy on top of this, a little daisy spacer. So here's my daisy spacer. And what the daisy spacer is going to do is it's going to stabilize it inside of this bead cap. So if you look at the bead cap, it does have a rather large hole. And if it weren't for that little daisy, your coil might just come through that large hole. And that's not really a look we're going for. So it's nice to have that little daisy to kind of stabilize it. And then on the other side, we also need to stabilize the loop. And we're doing that by putting a little Swarovski crystal rondelle right on top of the loop. So I'm using the rondelle shape because that's going to fill the hole really nicely. It's a little bit rounded on the side, right? So it's just kind of going to just lay against that hole like a glove, really. Okay, can you guys see that?
Lorraine says beautiful.
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
Katie S says, I like the idea of using double lengths of chain between the links.
Oh, thank you, Katie. You know what? I know it's very subtle, but I love this look. I don't know, it just makes me so happy. Look at this. It even makes like a really sweet little bracelet. Maybe if I were making a bracelet, I might make these segments a little bit shorter so that I can see a little bit more color from the crystal. Maybe I would cut them in half if I were making a bracelet. But I do think it adds something. It's like just a really sweet little tiny bracelet. So I'm just saying you can use this in other projects. It's just kind of a no-brainer. It adds something a little extra.
Allie says, such a pretty project, just right for spring.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you said that. Because you know what? In my mind, that's exactly how it was. You know, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you know, I am just so sick of winter and I'm craving color. And these are just the really wonderful bright pastel colors that we all love to wear in the spring. Okay, ladies, so now I'm going to maybe make a slightly larger loop, although it doesn't really have to be a larger loop, but I think I'm going to make it a little larger. So I'm using the larger side of still my small bail making pliers, and before I wrap the loop, well, you probably already know I have my pre-made chain, and so all of this will get strung right into that loop. So these are both halves of the necklace. And so here we are. Everything is connected now. And I'm just going to hold on to my loop, and we're going to make a wrapped coil. And again, I'm going to make it organic, so I wrapped all the way to the Swarovski rondelle. And now I'm just going to wrap in the opposite direction. So this makes it nice and sturdy. It supports the loop, and it's just a fun look. And now all we have to do is just cut off the excess wire.
Kathy D says, I like it the way it is.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Fonda says, there's our next project, a cute little bracelet.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about making just a cute little bracelet like this, but you guys can just do that on your own, right?
Betty says, awesome for my granddaughter for Easter.
Oh, yay! Thank you so much, Betty. I'm flattered that you want to make something like this for your granddaughter. I'm assuming she's not a little girl. Okay, guys, so guess what? We just finished. So I think, let me see. I think I'm just going to model this. I don't know. It might be a little bit too long, but I guess we'll find out. So I think maybe I'll take off some of my other jewelry.
CD says, gosh, that's beautiful.
Thank you so much, CD. I really appreciate it. All right, so bear with me while I'm taking my other necklaces off. And
Allie says, awesome.
thank you, Allie. So, okay, so it does have, hi guys. So it does, and of course I'm a little tangled. So it does have a little extender chain, as you know. So you can make it a little longer, you can make it a little shorter, you can make it whatever makes you happy.
Amy says, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Amy. All right, ladies, so what do you think? So I clasped it so that
Okay,
it's
so I have to go down
that
because it's longer.
Yes, it's a long, here, let me move this over. It is a long necklace, and
So we don't see your head.
It's
Just
okay, it's
FYI.
okay. You don't have to see my head. You have to see my necklace. That's what's important here. So I clasped it actually as short as it goes. So it could be a little longer, but then you would not see it. So here we are. We finished the necklace. And again, this is the After the Rain necklace.
Kathy H says, love it. Olya says, very nice.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Okay, guys. So now that we have completed our project, so was this easy? You guys, was this easier than you ever assumed? It's just a bunch of wrap loops. And you know what? If you have a friend who is new to wrap loops, this is a great necklace to make with them. It's really satisfying because, well, you feel very accomplished at the end, because people who are new to wrap loops, you know, it's kind of daunting when you first start making them. But by the end of this necklace, you are a pro. Because once you make this many, you have to be really good at it. Okay, so this is what we made. So now let me just give you a little preview of what's coming up. So I have this gorgeous turquoise necklace, or rather pendant, to remind me that tomorrow we have pendants and focal point beads. And this is a live shopping event. You know how we've been doing these live shopping events. And this is tomorrow, Friday, March 24th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Eclectica page. And I have to show you the back of this gorgeous piece. Look at this. Is that just absolutely delicious? As much as I love the turquoise, absolutely love the turquoise, but the back of this piece is just as beautiful. And so tomorrow we will be exploring all sorts of pendants, focal point pieces. There's going to be a little bit of a variety of stones, and I'll have some lamp work, and I'll have pieces like this where the stones are set. And I will also have a few of my fine silver pieces that are one of a kind that normally you only see in my Etsy shop. So I do have some new ones to show you guys. But wait, there's more. There's always more. Oh, you know what? While I'm showing you the more, so before I tell you about this lariat, let me ask you, I actually don't have a plan for next week, for next Friday. So let's vote. You know, I love including you guys on this decision. So since we don't have a theme for next Friday, would you guys like, let me think. So would you guys like a large whole bead video, or maybe a black and white gemstone video? Or one of the things that I've been meaning to go back to is another turquoise and spiny oyster video, because I have so many gorgeous turquoise and spiny oyster beads that I did not get to show you in the first video where we explored that. So oh, and yes, and somebody mentioned garnets too. So we could do a garnet video, or we could just include garnets with the black and white gemstones. So lots of options. Tell me what your thoughts are. So, so in the meantime, I don't think I finished talking about the bellflower vine lariat. And so this is the bellflower vine lariat. This is the one that was inspired by Fonda, who is really awesome for giving me this idea. And again, thanks, Fonda. So this is going to be our video for March 30th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on my page, just like today.
Lori says, oh, wow, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Lori. And again, this is definitely spring inspired. I mean, I think that a lot of my projects in the next few weeks are probably going to be somehow flower and nature related, because you know what? I am just so done with winter and I want to see flowers so badly.
Allie says, awesome. Amy says, beautiful. And Kathy says, love it.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies.
Kathy D says, love the length, beautiful necklace.
Thank you so much. And the lariat is my ode to color of the year. It's Viva Magenta.
Fonda says, so pretty.
Thank you, Fonda.
Betty says her granddaughter will be 16.
Oh, perfect. Oh, what a great age. All right, so...
Amy says black, white, and garnet sounds good, as does turquoise.
Oh, cool. So let's do this. Let's get a few more votes and then we'll decide. And whichever one I don't do this time, I'll probably do it a different time, right? So you guys tell me what sounds good. So do we want to do black, white, and garnet? Do we want to do turquoise and, let's see, turquoise and spiny oyster? We could probably throw some garnet into that as well.
Trudy says large hole. Allie says turquoise and large hole. Fonda says, sorry, large hole, spiny oyster, and turquoise.
Nice.
Kathy D says garnet.
Cool. All right, so it sounds like you want a little bit of everything. So probably, I don't know. It's so close and not a lot of votes. So I don't know. We need
Could be a surprise. We can check the comments after too.
yeah, let's do that.
We
So,
can decide tomorrow.
you know what? That's a great idea. We will decide tomorrow. So, in the meantime, we'll check the comments later if you feel like voting for one of the three. So, I'm probably not going to combine the large hole beads and the other categories because there's just way too much in either category. So it's going to be either large hole or spiny oyster and turquoise. And in my mind, spiny oyster and turquoise are such a great combo that I do like to do those together. So yeah, so just keep commenting and we'll make the decision tomorrow. All right. Well, in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all of your wonderful comments. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So have your coffee and be prepared to see a lot of beautiful focal point pieces. In the meantime, have a wonderful and creative evening.